Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. So this is the series as I edited Immortal, and you guys are getting ready to watch round 2 as I edited Immortal for the second time, and I'm very excited. This is an epic historical fantasy romance with action and war and battles, real true stories from history, as well as like an emotional romance that will like make you swoon. And it's such a good book. It's got a little bit of everything for everybody in it, and I've worked so hard on it. My editor Eshe worked so hard on it, and I hope you enjoy this vlog series as I edited Immortal. The link will be in the description below along with the blurb if you'd like to check it out, and you can order it for yourselves, and I hope you enjoy this vlog series. So let's get into this. Hey everyone, so this is a clip kind of bridging round 1 of editing Immortal with round 2. So well, first of all, my editor, Eshe has just gone through round 2 of Immortal, and basically she prints it off and then she writes in it in a document, as you guys have seen. I don't know why I'm re-explaining this to you guys, but for round 1, I remember I mentioned in the vlog series with you guys that I wrote notes, and what I did was I divided them into sections. I can show you that in a minute on a different recording, but I divided them in sections by the era, and then I put all of my questions and things that I was concerned about in that era as like a checklist. And so she was going through that on top of her own thoughts. Well, she would read the eras and then go through my notes at the end after reading it herself, because she didn't want my notes to influence her editing, which was really smart. And so she finished it several days ago, and basically we did what we did with round 1, where we talk back and forth about it, and she goes over all the big picture stuff. Like, obviously there's smaller edits, but we really need to discuss like how is this going to work and how can we change that and stuff. And so I'm not going to give you guys spoilers, but I wanted to show you guys how this process works. So I'm going to show you guys our chat. She has permission for that. So essentially, let me get up here. So yeah, you can kind of see that and to help me navigate when I'm editing, if you guys notice the search and conversation, when I'm editing, I remember telling you guys it's really easy for me to find, like, if say I'm in the middle of it, I'm in 1580s Japan, I can just type that into that little search bar and it'll take me to our recordings, since there's so many of them. There's not as many this time as there was last time. So yeah, this is kind of where it started. So we kind of chatted, we chat through voice messages anyway, so that's kind of what some of these are. But eventually it was like around March 13th, so yeah, it's been 4 days ago, pretty much, less than 5 days ago. And so this is where, like, we started glossary, character guide, first letter, and that's when she starts dividing it with the text, so that way I can type that into the search bar and it'll take me to her recordings about that. You know, Jamestown origin story in Egypt, Joppa, Rome, and that obviously she came to her conclusion for the day. Not conclusion for the day, I don't know what I'm talking about. She came to like where she'd worked on it long enough, so then she stops at a certain point, and then I'll reply and I'll do the same thing where, like, glossary, character guide, first letter, and I'll respond to her messages, and then maybe add in some questions of my own. Like this one, I added in question, should I do chapters? And then I gave her a little voice message about that, and I'll reply, and then she'll reply and move on to the next part, basically. So let me I'm trying to find something that won't be too, we'll talk about maybe the beginning, like the glossary, that way it's not too spoilery for you guys. But
okay, I have 2 notes for the glossary. One, as much as possible, try to keep the heading order consistent, like putting the place, comma, then the date, then a colon. I think most of them were, but some weren't, so that's pretty simple note.
And then so she'll just go on, like the character guide had some stuff to talk about.
And then I have a couple notes for the character guide. Kind of the same one as the glossary. Consider only including a character once in the first or most relevant era they appear. Like, you had Crazy Horse in a bunch of sections, but consider only putting him in the Crazy Horse section, because that's where he's most relevant and introduced. Because repeating the characters, like, after you read them over and over, you're like...
So again, just little things like that. In some sections, like you notice Jamestown, her recordings for that are really simple. And so as I was going over what she said, I also had some documents open, which I'll show you a clip here. I'll take of that. So I kind of just had my notes open, and so I started a new document of notes. So let me show you guys that, and then I'll come back here to this. I had to start another recording because I accidentally showed you guys a spoiler, so that was funny. So I scrolled down to show you guys at a point that there's no spoilers because it's just a glossary and character guide. But as I just recorded, like, I would type, as I was listening to her recordings, I had my phone sitting here, and I would listen to her recordings and type down what she said that was relevant. So that way, when I'm doing round 2, and you guys will see this when I actually start editing round 2, because I don't have the book yet, I will read the notes for the section first, so I know, okay, this is what I'm editing for, this section, this is what I need to look for, and as I'm editing it to see if there's anything else, and as well as going through, I'll have the book sitting here and go through all of her notes and fix everything. And I did that for the whole document. So this whole thing, my notes for Immortal Round 2, is 4,189 words. It's not spoilery, it's just changing the first landing and romance and dates and stuff, so you guys, if you end up seeing something, it's not a big deal. So again, this was my original notes for round 2. So when I was editing round 2, as I told you guys, I wrote down the era and all my concerns, and she had this part on her phone as she was going through it, editing it, and she would read like the Jamestown era first and then go through my notes to go through each one and tell me to make sure, to go through each note and to make sure it was okay. She wrote that down in her paper, but as we're going through it, she voice records and tell me, okay, Jamestown number 1 and 2, both good, or like, whatever. She would address whatever issue was going on there, which I can show you those recordings in just a second. I'm doing this all with my phone, so I have to go back and forth, but I'll show you that clip here. But yeah, right, so Jamestown, remember I said, first landing, changed it to match, and then making it more personal and adding in more specific personal stuff because I didn't want to cut out the history about the rivals directly. So this is what she said, Jamestown, and then she says this.
My only note for Jamestown is both of your notes worked well. The first entry and Roseanne's letter did feel more personal and excited, respectively. So for Jamestown itself, I didn't have any major changes. They were all little throughout. So
okay, so that kind of gives you an example of what she said and everything. So I kind of like make notes of that. I would go to my first document I showed you guys, type that down, and then go from there. So that's basically how we did this, and we did that for every single, so this is everything that we went through back and forth. And then yesterday she sent me all of these. So from this all the way there was recordings, and I didn't have enough time to go through it, so I went through all the way to the Rocky Mountains, wherever that was. So I got all the way through to this part. So tonight I started here and went down to the end, but she had also replied because I had some extra stuff to talk to her about all this stuff, and I sent her the covers. So this is kind of a cover reveal if you guys haven't seen it yet. So I sent her the cover of Mortal as an example, because it's supposed to look, the cover of Immortal is supposed to look like the Valiant series, and it's supposed to look historical fiction, but it's supposed to look close to Mortal because it is a companion. So I sent her the first rendition that my designer and I had, which is this one. And I didn't like it. It looked too fantasy. People are going to be thrown off because it's not historical. So then he sent me this one, and I told her that it looks like it's floating, and I didn't really like the map and stuff. So I asked for her thoughts. And so she, replied to another issue that we're having in eras and continued to reply to some of that stuff, to my extra, like the Dakota versus Lakota tribes and stuff. So a few extra issues that I talked about in my replies to her, even though I hadn't finished her first, from the Rocky Mountains down, I hadn't listened to. And then, so she, I'll explain that in a minute. That's another whole nother ordeal. And so I decided, since she sent me this tonight, when I started, I saw all this. So I replied to all of this stuff first, and then went back up and did the Rocky Mountains on down, which I showed you guys earlier. So then I did all of this tonight, just now, from about 1 o'clock, and it's 2:42 a.m. and I still want to get stuff done. So I did all of that, and she gave me her opinion and her, what did she, okay, so I think the cover was this one. Yeah, the book cover, I like the last one the best, the more brown journal, but I still don't know, like you said, it looks like it's floating, and unlike the other covers, it doesn't have like that sense of movement with it. You just kind of look at the map, and that's about it.
But I don't know. I'll have to think about it more, look at the pictures more and think about it more. Whenever you answer back, I read your messages in order, so I didn't see how you were like, you can just wait until I reply to reply so I don't have to scroll up. And I was like, oh. And so I'll think about it. I'm going to think about the cover.
Okay, and then I replied to her about that, so I'm waiting to hear her feedback tomorrow. But that sparked an idea, which I then sent to my cover designer. So, interesting enough, one of the sections, I'm not going to spoil it, but let's just say that my character gets some broken ribs. Ironically, well, for those of you who may not know, Heather broke her ribs. I'll have a link or a card to her video where she talks about it. I think it was a short video. I don't know if I can link to a short video, but she talks about it. So she was pregnant and she broke her ribs. I'll let her explain all of that. So check out her video explaining all that. But long story short, she was pregnant with broken ribs and she was in a lot of pain. And for some reason, she was still editing. Like, I was just so amazed. Like, she is so amazing, such a hard worker. Oh my goodness, this woman is fantastic and I love her so much. But so she was still editing because she couldn't do much, so it was kind of helping her keep her mind off of things and everything else, and it was still like giving her something to do and everything. So while she had her broken rib, she was editing the section where my character had a broken rib. So oh my, that means that she has a lot to say about that. And so she told me everything and was giving me advice about broken ribs and stuff. And there's one section where he's smoking a peace pipe, so I guess that kind of spoils the era it happens, and just take a wild guess. And she was talking about how you can't breathe very deeply and stuff, and so she sent me this video to kind of explain that this was something they gave her to help, and we'll just go ahead and play it for you.
Okay, so this little breathing machine is what they gave me to practice my breathing, and you breathe in through this. So when you breathe in, the little thingy goes up, and I could not get it past here with my broken ribs. And until I gave birth, I couldn't get it up until the 15. And just for reference, Scott did it because I was like, is it just not working? Scott did it and he got it all the way to the top easily. And so like to smoke and breathe in,
basically you can't breathe in, so he wouldn't have been able to smoke on the peace pipe because he can't breathe in really deeply, especially if it's closer to his ribs healing or to his ribs not being healed. So that was kind of what she was explaining, and all of these messages were clarifying that. Trying not to spoil anything for you guys, so editor self, be very careful what I show here. And so this document is 8,084 words. I'm not making this up, like that's literally how many notes we have here. So that was my notes for round 2. So I'm going to go through these and listen and make sure she addressed each one to make sure that yes, it works or it needs to be addressed or changed. I'm going to go through all of these to make sure that we covered everything again that we talked about. I'm going to listen to all the recordings. So round 2 is going to be extensive, but like I already did all the historical fact checking in round 1, so I don't have to redo that unless I'm questioning something. I did all of that in round 2. Round 1, I mean, as you guys know. So anyways, I'll change the first landing to match the history and added in the first entry instead of cutting out the rivals of the ship because I liked it because the history, so try to make it more personal by adding a fight and to his entry and excitement to her letter and stuff. So not spoilery, that's the very first entry. So and I'll show you what she says about this and kind of how we went through it. So yeah, that she's just really detailed, just going over everything. So I wanted to just show you guys how we kind of work and give you guys this little screen recording as a bridge. Right now, she still has the document and still has to reply to some of my last minute questions about what I have, what I'm doing here basically. Once we, finally get done talking about it and going over these last minute questions and stuff, then we can find a time to meet up and then I'll get the document and be able to do it from there. I'm still in the middle of editing Survivor, which I need to do a video about and kind of fill you guys in because I was going to do it because this is like my round before I give it to Heather, but it's been such a struggle that I can't talk about it as I was doing it. So eventually I'll probably do a video detailing like what I did without spoilers obviously. So yeah, but anyways, so it's almost 3 a.m. and I still want to plan a book, so I need to finish this up and go from there. So I just wanted to give you guys this little bridge. So hey guys, so my husky's enjoying it. It's like nighttime, so hopefully it's not too dark. Okay, that's enough. He's just going nuts. So this is another part bridging Immortal round 1 and Immortal round 2, but I just finished talking with my editor, Heather, and we finished talking about in the video I showed you guys, we finished using the methods I showed you guys in the last video. We finished talking about all the changes from round 2, and we went over the blurb, which was one of the last parts. And so she took, my blurb was way too long. Basically my blurb was too long, and it was unfocused and too scattered. So she took the portion that worked, put it in a document, and then wrote her own that she was inspired to write. So I'm using her blurb, and that is the blurb that I'm using. I had like 3 minor changes. I changed a semicolon to a comma. I added a few extra words at the very ending, and that's pretty much it. So her blurb is fantastic and encompasses everything in the book way more than I could. So I'm pumped. Like, I am super excited for it. So I think I'll go back in there and read you guys the blurb. And I have to get the clip for the recordings, but hopefully I'll be getting Immortal soon. It is Thursday, so Saturday. Yeah, I don't want to say too much, but also look at, and the birds are going nuts. So yeah, isn't this view just pretty? There are sunsets that way. That's the window to my writing nook right there. Come on, Echo. So, anyways, here's the blurb. Okay, so this is still Immortal, bridging the gap between part 1 and part 2. Immortality is his curse. As a slave, Nasan wants to avoid notice and survive. When Eshe begins showing him kindness, though, Nasan starts to see life as worth living. His hopes shatter when Tarik, Eshe's pursuer and Nasan's enemy, becomes trapped in a curse of immortality with Nasan. Their lives woven together with ancient magic, Tarik and Nasan struggle against each other throughout all history. Nasan desires to hold Eshe's love, Tarik continues to steal their hope of ever truly living, and every torturous era Nasan endures pushes him closer to the brink of giving up everything. When an archeologist discovers Nasan's journal, she races to uncover his secrets and find him before he disappears from history and time forever. So good. So she originally had before he disappears from history, so I just added and time, EM dash forever. So I sent her a message to see if that all works. She had through all history, and I made it throughout all history. And then, like I said, I replaced the semicolon with a comma, and that's all I did. So that's all her. Shout out to Eshe Pruitt. You are amazing. Also, my dog's being bad. Hey! So this is day 1, round 2 of editing Immortal. We just got through seeing my editor, Eshe Pruitt. We went to their house, so I didn't want to vlog, obviously, but we're stopping at Denny's to eat, because that's a tradition for my husband and I, because we don't have a Denny's back home. So I'm gonna pick out what I want to eat. My husband just got back, so it's exciting. I got Immortal, round 2. This and a sweet tea. So amazing. Plus the extra sausage and bacon. Hey, so we just got out of Denny's and we're driving. So we're still in the town near where my editor lives right now. We just got out of Denny's and we were at a stoplight, so I figured I'd vlog a little bit while we're here in the car. I've got Immortal. It's very thick, so sorry about the weird angle. I'm trying to keep a hold of it and not lose anything, but I've got that binder at home that is my Immortal binder, which sounds more dramatic than it really is. So I'll be putting it in there tonight and getting it all done and stuff. So I'm still editing Survivor right now, so I'll insert a card to the Survivor vlog if it's up by the time that you guys are watching this, because I'll be talking about that, because I've been editing Survivor 1 round, rewriting it before I get it to Heather, which is the book that we're going to be doing next, and I'll be doing a vlog process as I do that with her. So I'm really excited to have Immortal and to start editing it. So basically I'm going to do this round 2, and then I'll be doing proof formatting and then proofing it. I'll order proof copy, go through it, implement the edits, and probably do 1 more proof copy just to make sure all those edits got implemented okay and there's no last minute typos. But long process, but I'm excited and ready to go. So yeah, we're just gonna drive home. I'm angry at Spotify because they will not play Try That in a Small Town by Jason Aldean, and I have it in a playlist, and the playlist is not a very long playlist, and they've gone through it almost twice now and they will not play that song. It is ridiculous. So I'm angry at Spotify, so I'm gonna try to listen to my song before we get home. We've got about an hour drive, so we'll see what happens, and I'll check in with you guys later. Hey guys, so it is still day 1 of editing Immortal round 2. which is going to be a mouthful to say every time. Today is March 23rd, and as of right now it is 8:12. So my husband and I got back from the hour drive it takes to go see my editor, and we went and got groceries. So we just got back at 8 o'clock. So it took us that long because we ate and then we got groceries in our hometown. So that took us a while, so we're home really late. It's Saturday, by the way. Saturdays are my busy night because I write and send out both my newsletters, although my secondary newsletter I haven't been as faithful to. So I'm going to write my newsletters and send them out after this, and then I really need to get to editing Survivor, which I will talk about in my Survivor vlog. I'll put a card if I have it. So yeah, I'm going to do that and hopefully get some writing done tonight because I just started my new book the other day, so we'll see how that goes. I need to post on social media, but real quick before I did all that, it's 8:13. I want to get started around 8:30. I have a book haul. So first of all, I got Immortal, and it's right behind me, right behind here. So I have that set up. I'll show you guys the setup when I actually get it. It doesn't look good right now. And I have the binder brought over for that. But my editor, Eshe Pruitt, is an author, and I bought her hardback special edition, so this is actually a good shout out and a plug. So she had it all neatly wrapped up. Ta-da! Water Rising by Eshe Pruitt. So she designed this herself. Isn't that just gorgeous? That spine. I mean, this hardback is a gorgeous hardback. And then she signed it for me, which is mine personally. And she made me this exclusive print that I don't know if it's in the book or not, but she made me this print to go in it, and it says, "He is the maker, to love is who he is." And I love it. And that's the little dragon guy that's on the necklace. It looks like the same face when you look at it up close, which honestly it looks like a water kind of dragon thing. And I just love this title page. Like, she did this all herself. She's an artist, so it's so good. Now the special edition has over 100 pages of bonus content, including images behind the scenes, in-depth like stories about behind the story and how she came up with the ideas and where this book comes from and stuff. This is book 4 in her Anathalian series. I have the whole collection over here on my shelf, which is not organized right now. But look at that baby. I'm so excited for this series. I'll have a link in the description below so you guys can go check out the series. It is wonderful, clean, an epic fantasy adventure that will make you feel like a kid again. So if you want an adventure, then Anathalian is waiting. So please go check it out. And if you're going to buy the 4th book, just grab this special edition because I could not resist. I'm only on book 2 in the series, but I'm like, I gotta get the special edition because why not? So that's the first book haul, which to me this is so precious because not only did she sign it, not only is it a special edition hardback, not only did she give me a print, but it's like, it's a book from a good friend and it looks gorgeous. So feast your eyes on this wonderful thing. Like, look at that. Look at that. My signature is not even close to being that good. All right, so that's that book. And I still have more books. So this is like a book office haul because I had to get supplies. So before we get to the supplies, from the wonderful store called Walmart, I got this book, The Prisoner's Throne by Holly Black. And I read the synopsis and I was like, yep, I gotta get it. So I got it. There was another book too that I really wanted, but we don't have the money, so I had to choose between them. So I got this one because it was the cheaper one. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to try this. So I got that book. So then here's the office haul. So after I get done with Immortal, editing it round 2, I'm going to have to format it and proofread it, which I will vlog for you guys because I'm interested to see how thick the book's going to be. I'm also going to go over the cover with you guys because I just finalized the cover and showed Heather. So, but for proofreading, I'm actually out of highlighters and I need those. I use those for planning my YouTube channel and for proofreading, as you guys know. So because I did that for the Calamity's Hope series. If you haven't watched that series, I'll have a card here. It's really fun. So as you guys know from watching that series, if you guys haven't, go watch them. It's super fun. My highlighters were dying on me, so I got me a huge pack that'll hopefully, because Immortal's a huge book, so I'm gonna need it. So got me those highlighters. I am running out of space. Let me put this sack is so cute. Okay. So I got me some highlighters, and to go along with that, red pens, because I have some red pens, but just in case those die, I have extra to get me through the book. I needed some more pens for my other room. Not my other room, but my bedroom. I got me some more of these. I have plenty, but again, Immortal is a big book, so we're going to get as many of those as we possibly can. I'm running out of space here. And then for planning my YouTube channel, I use these and my planner. I put all these back and I will show you what I mean. So yeah, as a part of this vlog, I will talk to you guys all about the book cover. Okay, so, I don't know why that's there. Last year's planner for my YouTube channel was just scribbled and erased, and it gets to a point where I can't see the pencil writing. So what I do is I write my YouTube videos in pen on a sticker. That way, if I do change something like this week, these weeks, I'm probably going to change them up. So I just write it on a sticker and place it over there. And if you noticed, I already had stickers here like this one, and it's just so much neater and it doesn't get as chaotic and messy, but it's a really good way for me to plan out all my YouTube videos. Especially since I do change my mind and like postpone a video that I had planned if there's something better. So that happens a lot. So, but anyways, it is 8:18, so I'm gonna get started on my YouTube channel, and I will check in with you guys later. This is officially day 1 of editing Immortal round 2, because I did get Immortal and got everything set up today. So that counts as day 1. And I will check in with you guys when I actually start editing, which will be day 2. And in the meantime, like I said, if I have my Survivor, my rewriting Survivor vlog out, I'll put it here. So check that out, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay, so it's 8:41 and I haven't gotten started at my evening because I had to search for the clip to bind Immortal together. And I looked and looked and looked, couldn't find it. So I went to my mom because she always keeps those. And so I got hers, opened up the Immortal binder once I clipped it together, only to find out that that's where mine was. So I got it all put in the binder. I put away all of my stuff, and it's 8:41, so I'm getting started late, but I just wanted to fill you guys in because I did all of that just to get Immortal bound together, get all the papers like where they're even, and then put it in the binder, which right there. So this is where Immortal will sit while I'm editing it. So anyways, that's it for day 1. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode as I edited Immortal. If you liked this video, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe for more writing and reading videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And in the meantime, if you enjoyed this episode, then stay tuned for next week's episode. It'll be here. Liking and commenting and sharing this video really helps, but I promise you this gets exciting, and I worked so hard to edit it, so you'll enjoy this next episode.